Yesterday, Minister, alone were before the Health Committee, and they were speaking about kind of the home care sector. And one of the, I suppose, contributors had said that, you know, the statutory home care scheme was first mentioned in 1968 in this House, which I kind of looked back, and it's correct. It was first mooted back in the late 60s in terms of putting a scheme like this. So we've been talking about this for a considerable amount of time, and it still hasn't been done. And even in the programme for government, it was promised, but still hasn't been put in place. And I think, Minister, we'll all agree that home care is extremely important, right? I was a home care worker for a long time prior to this, and I know how important the work is in terms of keeping people out of a medical acute situation, very, very important, keeping the person at home. And people do want to stay at home, but they have to get the kind of the service, and they have to get the hours that makes it kind of sustainable. And obviously there's a lot of demand out there in terms of home care, and this demand will get greater over the next 20 years because obviously people are getting older, and that's a good thing. But obviously if the services are not there, then it becomes very, very arbitrary. And that's not a good thing whatsoever. Just in terms of the composition of home care, and like nursing home care, or like nursing homes, the composition is largely run for profit. And I think once you have that, and you have acknowledged this, once you have that, there is an imbalance in terms of, I'm not saying that, private care providers are all bad. That's not the case. But I think a model of profit before people, I think it's all wrong. I really think it's all wrong. And that's not being ideological about it. I think that's just care, like home care, like nursing care, should be run by the state, because it's better and it's more kind of economical and more, I think it's just better generally. So I think we have to look at kind of the imbalance of that because, home care should be not about kind of supply, because there is supply issues, but it should be about a demand. It should be enshrined in legislation that, if we need, and anybody in the situation could need home care, that they get it in time. Because if they get it in time and the intervention, good intervention, the outcomes are great, not only for that person, the family, but society as a whole. So that needs to be done, and it needs to be enshrined, Minister, because once it's not statutory, then it becomes arbitrary. And once you have that, people will lose out, and that's not fair. Thank you.